You want to be able to do a proper kettlebell swing, but you're not quite sure how? I got you. My name is Jessie Barton. I am the owner of Jessie Barton Fitness, and I have taught hundreds of people over the years how to do proper kettlebell swings. And I get it. When you first start to do a kettlebell swing, it can seem very daunting. You're not sure where your hips go. You're not sure how much your knees bend. You're not sure how to momenticize through the hips. Momenticize, is that a word? I think so. We're going to go with it. Anyways, by the end of this video today, you are going to feel confident doing a proper kettlebell swing so that you don't get injured and so that you get the most effective workout from this exercise. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. You will need some form of kettlebell. It can be light. We are just learning today, so it doesn't need to be something that's really going to challenge you. We just want to get you working with a proper form. So I've got my kettlebell here, but before we even dive into the kettlebell, we're going to get the proper form first. So I want you to bring your feet a little bit wider than the hip distance apart, and toes are going to be slightly turned out here. I'm going to turn and face you so you can see that. This is what I'm doing, okay? This is it. All right, so from here, we're going to practice a hip hinge, and a hip hinge is just sending the glutes back as though you're touching an invisible wall behind you. So note when I go back, my knees are soft, right? I'm not going back with locked knees. That doesn't feel good. We don't do that in kettlebell swings. We allow the knees to be soft, but no, I did not say bend. If we bend, it's a squat, right? We're not doing a squat, we're doing a hip hinge. So practice this with me. Note that the back is nice and flat. The back is coming down very low. A lot of times beginners will want to kind of come to here. No, bring it back as flat as you can. Squeeze the glutes, press it through. Let's do a few like that. I want you to feel that glute engagement as you squeeze the hips and press it through. Okay, so that is your basic hip hinge. Now, how do we translate that into a kettlebell swing? All right, I got you. So you're going to change nothing. You've got this positioning, right? You're going to grab your kettlebell. You're going to sort of set it on the end here. Now, before I even do anything with this kettlebell, I am engaging my glutes because I want to protect my low back always. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing it through the legs and do a proper kettlebell swing. Here we go. So one swing through the legs. I bring it up to chest height. I'm squeezing the glutes and I'm using them to press it forward, okay? So a lot of times with beginners, I see them trying to lift the kettlebell. You should never feel as though you're lifting the kettlebell, okay? All of the momentum is coming from your hips. So again, we swing it through, and then that weight has to go up because my hips are doing all the work. I'm really slamming them forward, okay? I know that sounds violent, but it's true. If you're properly engaged and you're squeezing the glutes, it's sort of like you're slamming your hips forward, okay? So we're gonna work on this now, all right? You can do it. So you're gonna grab that kettlebell, make sure it's triangulated between your feet, all right? So the kettlebell is the top of the triangle, your feet are the bottom two corners, there we go. You're gonna sort of place that kettlebell just on this side here. You're gonna engage your glutes. You're gonna keep your chest open. Back is nice and flat. You're gonna give one swing through the legs, and then you're gonna bring it up to chest height, okay? But your arms are not gonna do any work, all right? Let's do this. Let's do about 30 seconds of work here. See what we got. All right, swing it through, bring it to chest height. Now you're gonna start to connect the breath. Nice sharp exhale at the top. Inhale, exhale. Your hips are doing all the power. One more. And safely bring that kettlebell down. Okay, okay. You've just done perhaps some of your first kettlebell swings. Now, if you felt as though you were lifting that kettlebell, you need to engage more through the hips. That idea of slamming the hips forward, right? Don't lean back like I just did though. Slamming the hips forward, coming up, standing nice and tall. But that does bring me to a very valid point. A lot of times when people start, they've got everything looks good, they're not squatty at all, they've got that nice hip hinge, they bring it up and they lean back. Don't lean back, okay? You're standing up nice and tall, chest is open, slamming those hips through, okay? I want you to take about 10 more seconds here, catch your breath, and then we're gonna do one more round, okay? Just to sort of solidify it, make sure we have it. so that you feel confident. And remember, you can always come back and rewatch this video as many times as you need to until it clicks, because sometimes it can take a minute or 2 or 10 for something to click. All right, let's do this. One more round. You've got that kettlebell triangulated between your feet. You're gonna bend forward, sending those hips back. Back is nice and flat. Bring that bell to the ground on its side. Squeeze the glutes. You're gonna swing it through. You're gonna bring it to chest height. You're gonna find your nice sharp inhale and exhale. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, let's go. You got it. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Bring that kettlebell safely down. And there you have it. All right, so again, do not stress if you feel like that was not perfect. It's okay. It might take you a few times of doing this video until you feel confident. You're gonna get the heart rate up with kettlebell swings. You should feel that glute engagement. This is a power exercise after all. This is a very fantastic move to learn, to add to your repertoire. You're gonna get a full body movement exercise out of just this one move, okay? My name is Jessie Barton. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you real soon.